تدخل ضمن تحقيق الأهداف المشتركة التي تسعى لها الحكومة السورية وشبكة أغا خان بدفع عمليات التنمية الاقتصادية والاجتماعية والثقافية. نحن نقدر الحقيقة الجهود التي تبذل شبكة أغا خان في دفع مسيرة التنمية الاقتصادية والاجتماعية في سوريا. ختاما، أجد من الواجب علي أن أشكر سمو الأمير كريم أغا خان، وهو أهنئه بمناسبة بلوغ 50 عام على استلامه مقاليد الإمامة، متمنيا له دوام الصحة والتوفيق في رؤيته الإنسانية ومساهماته الكبيرة التي تقوم بها هذه الشبكة في عملية التطوير والتحديث التي نخطوها في سوريا بقيادة السيد الرئيس بشار الأسد. وشكرا لكم.
Mr. Prime Minister, I would like to begin these comments this morning by thanking you and your government for the very warm welcome that you have accorded to me on this Golden Jubilee visit to Syria. The Arkan Development Network is only effective when there is an open, frank, and sincere dialogue with the decision makers in every country where we work. And you have provided that open, thoughtful dialogue to us so that we are able to develop programs together. When we entered this agreement in 2001, I mentioned to Your Excellency that the Arkan Development Network has one particularity, which is that it operates in a number of different fields: in the cultural field, in the economic field, in the social field, educational field, healthcare field. And it does that because these areas over the years have appeared to us to be critical areas for development processes in various parts of the world. And that was one of the exciting opportunities which we shared, that the Arkan Development Network could work with the government and people and institutions in Syria to bring multiple partnerships together. And what we are seeing today is how these multiple partnerships are coming into existence. First of all, we are concerned about poverty. And there is no doubt, I think, in anybody's mind that microcredit and the opportunities of service which microcredit provide for poor people is an amazingly powerful resource. Good institutions that reach best practice, measured in global terms, are critical for any country in the world, however well developed it is. And building institutional capacity in Syria, jointly in healthcare, in education, is a goal which I think we have shared since we started our discussions, and the agreement that was signed with regard to higher education and institution building enters directly into that area. I believe that Islamic cultures have immense power and immense opportunity. It is up to us Muslims to illustrate those civilizations, those cultures of the past and the present. And one of the ways to do so is to revive the effectiveness of cultural assets in communicating to people. And historic buildings do not need to be thought of only as unproductive buildings. cultural assets can and should become contributors to cultural dialogue, cultural understanding, pride in one's heritage, and make an economic contribution to the country. And this is why it is so important to develop the leisure industry not only in terminology of modern buildings, but cultural assets speak to people. And if we want to bridge the gulf of misunderstanding between many countries in the Ummah and other countries outside the Ummah, one of the ways to do so, I believe, is to have our cultural assets speak for our history, speak for our traditions, speak for our values, speak for our ethics. Syria makes all this possible. And I want to thank the Prime Minister and his government for the enormous opportunity that they have given the Khan Development Network to contribute in these areas, which we believe could be important for the future of Syria, but also many, many other countries.
ابشر يا الإمام بشباب السلامية، ابشر يا الإمام بشباب السلامية، وابشر يا جيش التحرير والقدس العربية. أول ما بدينا النبي صلينا والنبي صلينا، أول ما نبدأ ونقول صلوا على طه الرسول، صلوا عنا بالعدنان، غير الأم البارية،
صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم 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 صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل إن كنتم تحبون الله فاتبعوني يحببكم الله ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم والله غفور رحيم. قل أطيعوا الله والرسول فإن تولوا فإن الله لا يحب الكافرين. إن الله اصطفى آدم ونوحا وآل إبراهيم وآل عمران على العالمين. ذرية بعضها من بعض والله سميع عليم. ذرية بعضها من بعض والله سميع عليم. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
The 50 years of Mawlana's imamate have witnessed profound changes in the international political, economic, and social order. In response to these, Mawlana Hazar Imam's vision, guidance, and generosity have inspired a flowering of institutions and programs aiming to secure the safety and progress of the Jamaat as well as those others with whom we share common environments. Here in Syria, the Jamaat witnessed important developments over the past 50 years of Hazar Imam's imamate. Most important is the growth of the newly born Jamaati institutions from a simple structured Supreme Council into a more sophisticated and developed National Council with its central institutions and local councils. This provided means through which Hazar Imam's hidayat were rendered to practical implementation for the betterment and well-being of the Jamaat in particular and the society they live in general. The work of AKDN during these few years has so far exceeded expectations. This is attested to by the demand expressed by different districts of the country to have programs of AKDN introduced into their jurisdictions. Mawlana Hazar Imam, in return for all that you do for us, for all the attention and care that you shower on us, for the light that you bring in our lives, all that we can submit are our humble and conditional love and gratitude, which we beseech that you accept.
This is for me a day of special happiness on being with you once again on the occasion of my Golden Jubilee. The Ismaili Imamat and the Jamaat have had many centuries of presence in and associations with Syria. At the beginning of this irshad, I wish to express my warm gratitude to His Excellency President Bashar al-Assad and his government for their generous invitation and for the many kindnesses and courtesies which they have extended to me during my stay in Syria. The agreement between the government of Syria and the Arkan Development Network in 2001, ratified by Parliament, envisaged that the Arkan Development Network would bring support initiatives in many fields, including education, poverty alleviation through microcredit, cultural enhancement through the restoration and reutilization of historic buildings, upgrading of medical services, and contributing to the improvement of rural productivity. Our goal was to improve the quality of life of all the peoples of Syria from whatever background. That many of these goals are being achieved is thanks to the President, to his government, and to the numerous local authorities with whom we have worked, and I express to them today our warm gratitude. There is a duty upon every Muslim to seek to improve the quality of life of all within the Ummah, and the Imamat's development activities seek to fulfill this duty. It is my deep conviction that that responsibility, which has rested on all Muslims since the revelation of Islam, is a responsibility to which all of us must contribute unitedly if we hope that one day the Ummah and all those living within it can be confident in their hope and prayer that their quality of life will be better tomorrow than it is today. There are differences within the Ummah about how to improve the quality of life, some which are inherited from the past and some which are caused by events of our present times. These divisions can make it difficult for all communities within the Ummah to contribute as they might wish to improve the quality of life of all the peoples of the Ummah. This is an unfortunate situation, and while it has no doubt existed for centuries, it is the responsibility of every Muslim in every generation to try to overcome these differences and build new and permanent bridges. This conviction of mine is clearly founded in the ethics of our faith and stems from our Islamic duties while we are in this physical world. In the world of the eternal, we are united by the brotherhood of Islam, as expressed in the Shahada, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Time has had its impact, and today 1,000 million people, all bound by the same testimony of the Muslim faith, live in different cultures, communicate in different languages, live under different constitutions, and differentiate in varying degrees in the interpretation of their faith. This plurality of the Muslim world is no doubt an irreversible inheritance from the past and continues today. But if it contributes as it should to the widest harnessing of our faith to all aspects of our lives in the generation of today and tomorrow, and is clearly within the principles of Islam, it is a strength for which we must be grateful. Valuing and drawing upon diversity as a source of strength was among the major factors which enabled Muslims in the past to create great civilizations. To all my spiritual children who are present here today, and to your families, wherever they may be, I give my most affectionate, loving blessings for barakah and the resolution of whatever difficulties you may be facing. My brothers and sisters in Islam and other faiths should be assured that my deep and heartfelt prayers are with you for your peace, your unity, and for your happiness. Kanavadan, Kanavadan, Kanavadan. I also convey to you my warm gratitude for the magnificent copy of the Ottoman Quran Sharif that you have given to me. It will be a wonderful memory of my golden jubilee to Syria. Kanavadan, Kanavadan, Kanavadan.
خجول وجهنا التعب لذكر النور ينتحب خجول وجهنا التعب لذكر النور ينتحب نعزي النفس في ذكر لما قالوا وما وهبوا خجول وجهنا التعب لذكر النور ينتحب نعزي النفس في ذكر بما قالوا وما وهبوا نهونا عن خطايانا بمرأى الدمع ينسكب نهونا عن خطايانا بمرأى الدمع ينسكب وسر كان أرقنا أحقا كلهم ذهب وسر كان أرقنا أحقا كلهم ذهب
situation tonight is truly beyond description, for it is surely a historical one, the memory of which shall remain inscribed on our minds for a long time to come, and we are going to relate them to our children and grandchildren if Allah bestow His grace upon us. We are fortunate to be here in this place, which is blessed by the presence of Imam al-Zaman, the spiritual father whose love brings our hearts together and whose guidance leads us on the Sirat al-Mustaqim towards a world of love, peace, tolerance, and prosperity. Mawlana Imam al-Zaman, on behalf of all Syrian spiritual children who are present here inside this hall, as well as those scattered all over the country outside, and on my own, to say to you, Golden Jubilee Mubarak, inshallah, and to express our deep, eternal love and fidelity to you, to your Highness, and the progeny of the holy and blessed house of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the Ahlul Bayt. On this occasion, we express our deep gratitude and thanks to President Bashar al-Assad for all what he and the Syrian government have done to facilitate this wonderful visit, as well as for the intimate reception given to distinguished guests of Syria. Finally, I would like to seek the approval of Mawlana Hazar Imam to accept a humble token presented from the Jamaat of Syria, which is Rakka glazed bowl, dating back to the 13th century from the northern Syrian city of Al-Rakka.
My dear President, leaders of the Jamaat, I'd like to begin these short comments by sharing with you my sense of immense happiness at this Golden Jubilee visit to Syria. It has brought to me very, very great happiness because I can remember 1957 very well. I can remember 1958, 1959, 1960, years in which Syria and the Jamaat in Syria had very great problems ahead. And I compare where we are today, and I say to myself, alhamdulillah, we have made real progress. And therefore I would like, first of all, for you to know that comparing today with what was the situation some 50 years ago is an inspiration to me, and it should be an inspiration to you. And this work, this achievement, has been done by the Jamaat, by the leadership of the Jamaat, by the government of Syria. And I want to take this occasion personally again to thank President Bashar and his wife for the most wonderful support that they have given me in the work that we have done and inshallah will continue to do here in Syria. That this visit has brought me great happiness, and it will remain in my memory for many, many, many years to think of the happiness I've had in this historic country with these historic links to our Jamaat over centuries and centuries. And those of you who know the history of Syria, the history of cities such as Aleppo, you will know how much they have contributed to the civilizations of Islam, to the practices of Islam, to the search for truth, not only within Muslim communities, but within Jewish communities, Christian communities. And therefore this country carries with it into the future a remarkable history of which you should always be proud. And I think that is important because no Muslim who knows his history can ever forget the contribution that Syria has made to the civilizations, the cultures, the practice of the faith of Islam.
You have spoilt me by a most wonderful gift, and I will take this gift and keep it close to me as a memory, with the magnificent Ottoman Quran that was given to me also, this really especially happy visit to Syria. Tomorrow I will be going to Aleppo. I will have more fun in Aleppo. You can be sure of that. I'm going to have lots of fun in Aleppo, like I had in Salamieh and Al-Khawabi, and here in Damascus. I'm here to enjoy my visit to Syria. And I want you to know that that's what has happened. I've had a wonderful evening. I wish you happiness, joy, smiles on your faces, and a few good jokes. That's very healthy. Thank you.
Your Excellency the Prime Minister, Your Excellency the Minister of Culture, Your Excellency the Minister of Tourism, Your Excellency the Chief of the Baath Party in Aleppo, Your Excellency the Governor and the Mayor of Aleppo, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to begin these short comments by saying how deeply happy I am to be back in Aleppo on this occasion and to be able to welcome you to some work which the Akhan Trust for Culture has completed, and to welcome you to some new projects which we hope to bring forwards. The background to this initiative is very simple. The background is to illustrate to the peoples of our world the history of the civilizations of the Ummah. They don't know our history. They don't know our literature. They don't know our philosophy. They don't know the physical environment in which our countries have lived. They view the Ummah in terminology which is completely wrong. My interest in working in Syria is to take the various lead countries of the Ummah and say, let's start. Let's move together. Let's revive our cultures so that modernity is not only seen in the terminology of the West, but modernity is seen in the intelligent use of our past. Thank you.
أود أن أشير إلى سعادتنا في الحكومة السورية بأن نجد ما ترجم من أهداف ضمنتها هذه الاتفاقية. بدأنا وسنتابع مسيرة التعاون وكما سماها سمو الأمير الشراكة بين الحكومة السورية وبين الشبكة في المستقبل في العديد من المشاريع التي تحدثنا عنها والتي ترسم آفاق كبيرة لهذا التعاون المشترك، سواء كان في المجال السياحي أو في المجال الاقتصادي أو في مجال تنمية الموارد البشرية.
فللأزمان تيجان تدني النجوم لقوم عهدهم صانوا. حي الزمان فللأزمان تيجان تدني النجوم لقوم عهدهم صانوا. من آل فاطمة من بيت له مدن، من آل فاطمة من بيت له مدن، هزت وجودا فاستهدوا بما كانوا. حي الزمان فللأزمان تيجان وجهنا التعب لذكر النور ينتحب خجول وجهنا التعب لذكر النور ينتحب نعزي النفس في ذكر لما قالوا وما وهبوا خجول وجهنا التعب لذكر النور ينتحب نعزي النفس في ذكر بما قالوا وما وهبوا نهونا عن خطايانا بمرأى الدمع ينسكب نهونا عن خطايانا بمرأى الدمع ينسكب وسر كان أرقنا أحقا كلهم ذهب وسر كان أرقنا أحقا كلهم ذهب
يا